It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Dr. Biajilu Upo. How are you?
I'm doing amazing, Dr. MD Mama.
I love your hair.
Thank you. Thank you. We launched this yesterday, and I decided to take a piece for myself.
Yeah.
You know, as benefits of selling. When you are launching for customers, you are picking, you know, your own products. But, you know, because of this fall of the Naira, we've been having issues shipping our goods to customers abroad, especially in the UK. Most of the customers are basically in the UK. So, you know, the shipping companies had to increase their prices for over 100%, sometimes 150%. So goods that you buy just small money is now very expensive for you to ship. So I've decided to take goods to my customers in the UK. If they are able to order from now till the 25th of that next week, Thursday, then they will get it in the UK. So I'm cutting off that shipping fees. And the slot is just for 10 persons. So people should come to my DM and order whatever they want to order from me, and they'll get it in the UK.
Oh,
yeah, for now. So US people are saying, when are you coming to us? I'm like, let's see. But now we're focusing on, you know, just getting our
goods for summer?
across.
You're not sure yet. You're thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay. Laja Anima Akasha Zubri, how are you?
I'm fine. My dearest Benin sister. Tomorrow is her birthday, Mrs. Eunice Agedo.
Oh,
the July baby. Like,
happy birthday!
She's already holidaying.
Oh,
Nice. She told me, this birthday, I go take myself out.
Rocher.
And you know, I love her spirit. This woman has lived. Her boys are grown, so she's enjoying herself. Now, happy birthday, ma! I hope you're watching. She's in Jamaica. Holidaying for herself and pampering herself.
Jamaica.
I'm telling you, I have a family friend that also went to Jamaica. Her mom turned, I think, 70.
Oh, wow.
They all went to Jamaica. You know, it was
happy birthday.
I like that place.
I like that kind of
that life.
How you did, Amaka Fresh?
I'm good. Yeah, when you say Jamaica, my sister-in-law, she's Jamaican Canadian. So
nice.
yeah. Anyways,
You guys go there sometimes?
They go. I've not been. I plan to go. Yes. I'm good. You can see I'm happy. I'm smiling. I don't eat breakfast, but I had puff-puff this morning on the show.
Chef Walia's
You like Amaka?
So
She likes
easy. I love puff-puff. I'm just easy breezy. So please keep it coming.
Amaka made me eat puff-puff. I don't eat puff-puff. I'm not big on puff-puff.
Amaka did not make you
But no, this puff-puff was good.
It's
not oily,
branding puff-puff.
well
So I started taking...
Amaka this morning.
You started taking.
They said I branded it. Something I can brand anything. So I branded it puff-puff.
Business might not change them. How's
How you
everything
doing?
good? Good to have you. I'm fine.
How was your trip?
Yesterday, I went to speak at Olabisi Onabanjo University. I spoke on trust and nation building. I was very passionate about it. I didn't realize how very passionate I am about these Nigerian issues, and I was really excited. Of course, I had to link it to the local government autonomy. I mean, I think I'm going to start doing a video on what this local government autonomy means.
Exactly.
Because it's real power to the people. And I think it's time for us to really take governance seriously. Because the reason why governance is very frustrates us because it's so far away.
Yeah.
The government is so
We
far
can't
away.
reach it.
President is so far away. We can only yab them from here.
Yeah.
But now that you can go and say, hello, Mr. Lagbaja, please.
know your
this is my
house. I know your
gutter.
house
So,
address.
I need you to clean this, you know, and I know you have this amount of money. So it changes things. But I think I just need to probably do some videos on that. Just let me.
Also,
I think people don't understand it, but
They
they
don't get it.
They don't get it. Yes.
And I
It's important now that we start checking on them. You know, local government chairman, they don't usually sit in their office.
They have to sit down.
Yes.
Sit now.
But they waka go there.
You are the nearest to the people. You have no business living in Abuja governing.
Yes.
Not to be branding mayoress, but she's always in her office.
Yeah.
That
I know
woman,
she lives in
always-
town.
she works.
She lives in
That
town,
woman-
but the chairman of Oriade Obadagri can be living in Ikeja.
Let's go on a break. And we come back, look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. CDS raises joint security force in renewed anti-oil theft battle. Tinubu pays tribute to Olatunji Dare at 80. Military land nationwide for cultivation to grow food items. Court turns down Emefiele's medical trip request. 103 died in 3,623 cholera cases, says NCDC. Tribunal orders NLNG to pay FIRS $27.5 million as 2016 revised tax. And Rivers lawmakers' crisis rages on over state fund. No plan to sell off varsities to private investors, says federal government. Okay.
Major headline. So security chiefs have harmonized their strategies towards clearing the Niger Delta of crude oil thieves, pipeline vandals, and other criminal elements, affecting the country. The decision was followed by the directive by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that crude exploration and exploitation in the oil-rich region must be made seamless and lives protected. So the security chiefs who met with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, CEO Mele Kyari in Abuja yesterday, declared the integrated battle plan under a joint task force. They are also seeking for understanding of the Niger Delta communities and carrying out the president's directive. So speaking to reporters, the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, said, "We know that Nigeria relies so much on what we can produce. We appeal to the communities to have an understanding. Yes, we know trust has been a problem, but they can trust us. But they can trust the government that we want to do things differently. Everyone will be carried along. Everyone has a role to play. It's not only for the security agencies alone. We need the communities to understand the pipeline vandalism and all the hazards being caused are also affecting them directly and indirectly, and we need to stop that." So he says, "I can assure you within the next shortest possible time, you will see results." And they went ahead to sort of reel out how they plan to carry out this security so that at least we do away with all those criminal elements, especially in the Niger Delta, that affect our resources.
Similarly, let me just take the food story, because also the House of Representatives on Defense yesterday said that the military intends to go about the directive. They were asking the military how they intend to go about the directive of the president to use their land, the open land space for agriculture. It's our hot topic today, so we don't have any guests about it, but it's important that the chairman of the committee, Jimmy Benson, Honorable Jimmy Benson, was going to disclose on Tuesday, saying that the president gave the charge to the military, saying that if you have like 1 million hectares of land, there's the possibility that it will be more secure because the military is manning those places. So what they're expecting that if you convert those lands to agriculture, it can actually help to restore food security in our country. So they're taking the initiative from next week, Monday, and they're inviting the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, to come and explain on how they want to transform this directive by the president and ensure that those expanse of land that is owned by the military is converted to agriculture. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, so I have the good news story. The tribunal, the tax appeal tribunal, has ordered that the Nigerian liquefied natural gas paid to the Federal Inland Revenue Service 27.5 million as the 2016 revised company's income tax, and the LLNG are taking the matter to sued the FIRS in 2022, and they brought an appeal to the tax appeal seeking to review a $141.75 million that was due to the FIRS as company's income tax. But after all the go back and forth, go front, go back, it was ordered that they should pay $27.5 million, and on the 8th of July this month, they remitted the said $27.5 million to the FIRS, which is now final, full and final settlement amount as agreed by both parties after the signing.
Okay, so I have the cholera outbreak in Nigeria has claimed 103 lives from 3,623 suspected cases across 34 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, reported that the cases and deaths covered 187 local government areas as of July 15th. Lagos, Bayelsa, Abia, Ebonyi, Katsina, and Zamfara states led in number of cases and fatality, contributing 3% of overall burden of the disease. Despite this, the country is now recording a decline in the cases and fatalities compared to the preceding months when the outbreak was first recorded in 2024. Also, it's been recorded that yellow fever outbreak has been recorded in Ekiti, Bayelsa State, with 3 cases and 1 death so far. In the June 23 update, Lagos led 15 states that contributed 90% of the cases, of the cholera cases, which led to 29 deaths in Lagos State. So people of Lagos State, please be careful, especially with the rain, eating of corn, water that not is properly boiled. NCDC Director General Jide Idris at a news conference yesterday said the cholera cumulative case fatality rate since the beginning of the year stands at 2.8%, while predominant age affected is 5 years old. The males account for 52%, while the remaining cases are female. He also said that starting from the 8th to the 14th of July, that they've recorded a decline in cases. So hopefully this will just phase out with time.
All right, The Punch. Local government autonomy, 13 states rush to hold council polls. One killed journalist shot in Kenya. It's fresh protest. Crypto billionaire, technopreneur, arrested for alleged fraud and terrorism funding. Court declines Emefiele's request for foreign medical trip. U.S. promises timely delivery of attack helicopters to Nigeria. FG warns 22 states of 5-day massive flooding. Yikes. Minimum wage labor threatens 30-day strike, alleges plan to decentralize talks.
Major headline. So we remember that the Supreme Court had declared unconstitutional for state governors to hold funds allocated for the local government councils. And that happened in a judgment delivered by Justice Emmanuel Ajim and the 7-man panel that was held in about the 774 local government area councils, that they are now going to be able to manage their funds. And also the fact that about 460-something local governments are actually being handled right now by caretaker committees. About 13 states are quickly rushing to fix dates for local government elections as a result of the Thursday Supreme Court judgments, which had prohibited the federal allocation to go into the state's accounts, but into the local government. So they need to do these elections so that they have a proper local government to be able to receive their funds. Otherwise, they will not receive their funds. So the states that have commenced their council poll preparations include Kaduna, Kogi, Bauchi, Katsina, Osun, Enugu, Benue, Rivers, Jigawa, Imo, Kebbi, Abia, and Anambra states. And they are seeing how the Independent Electoral Commission will be able to schedule the dates for, I think, October 19, 2024. So we're hoping for them and believing that they will be able to sort that out so that they can receive their own allocation, or else they will be holding their states and their local governments behind.
Simple.
If they don't do that.
We love it. We love it. Let's take one more story before we go on a break.
Let me take Emefiele. It's a very short one. So the former CBN governor had applied to the High Court in the FCT for the release of his passports, seeking and another allowing him to travel to the United Kingdom to seek medical treatment. And the court declined it, saying that he did not show sufficient reason to why he needs that medical trip and why it's essential and unavoidable. And so the application was turned down, basically. So it's to. I also advise you should seek the best hospitals in Nigeria.
Okay, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with our reviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Nima has a story? Or
No, I have a story. The federal government has predicted that 94 towns are at risk of a 5-day flooding beginning Tuesday, July 16 and ending on July 20. I don't know why I'm smiling. I'm laughing.
Because it's not there.
I'm laughing because
you reject it, not a portion.
In the name of Jesus.
Please, all the town criers, all the people that used to hold the rape, I beg, we need the people. 5 days. The Minister of State of Environment, Dr. Salako, discloses to the Punch on Tuesday. Salako said the identified locations and their environs would likely witness heavy rainfall that may lead to flood within the prediction period.
Yeah, what are the areas?
Yes, no, the areas are too much, but I can name some of them. There's Oka, there's Niger, Federal Capital Territory, Akwa Ibom, there's a River State, of course, Port Harcourt, Nasarawa, Bayelsa, there's plenty of Sokoto, Taraba. No, they didn't mention Lagos.
Is it the one from
the 3 days?
Is it the one from the Cameroon dam?
No, I don't
No,
think
no, it's
so.
not the one, because they said here that they asked whether the Cameroonian government has notified the ministry of when it would open floodgates of the Lagdo Dam. The minister stated that if it was the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation that manages dams, and if they were going to do anything, that they will inform the minister first. And
For those states that I mentioned, please begin to work around how you can get somewhere higher ground. Maybe relocate somewhere,
in the
because
interim.
you don't want to start having casualties over something that's been announced. So please pay attention to the information. The Nigerian Air Force yesterday said that the issuance of the American government for the time, the assurance actually, they have showed us that the American government has given them an assurance of the timely delivery of the attack helicopters ordered by Nigeria. Was the Director of Public Relations, Edward Gapquet, said the assurance was given by the Chief of Air Staff, Marshal Hassan Abubakar, represented by the Chief of Policy and Plans. He said, according to him, the first program management review meeting was to discuss the program to progress so far on the supply of the AH-1Z attack helicopters to the Nigerian Air Force. They're hoping that this, once it arrives, it will help to obviously buffer up the attack against insurgency in our country. So I don't know how many helicopters. It didn't state here how many we're expecting, but it says that they are definitely going to be. Say the helicopters. Okay, so there are more than one. When inducted into the NAF order of battle, will surely bolster its firepower and operational capabilities, particularly in the counterterrorism and insurgency operations. Okay, moving on quickly now to Daily Sun. Universities reel under choking electricity bill. No plans to hand over universities to private investors, says federal government. Police arrest crypto billionaire Blood over fraud. 190 Nigerians repatriated from UAE. Catholic Church welcomes new apostolic nuncio in Nigeria. Tinubu gives marching orders to security chiefs over oil theft, pipeline vandalism, and PDP Governor Storm Enugu for crucial meeting. Which story are we starting with?
Okay, so the police force headquarters in Abuja said its operatives have arrested a crypto billionaire, Linus Williams, popularly known as Bloyd. Bloyd was arrested in Abuja yesterday following allegations of cryptocurrency fraud, terrorism funding, and aiding internet fraud, among other allegations against this company. The first police public relations officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, was the one who made the disclosure in a statement in Abuja yesterday. And the statement reads, alleged fraud violation of CBN Act, police interrogate CEO Blood Group of Companies, Linus Williams. Now, the FCID and MPF NCCC is currently investigating complaints lodged against Blood Group, Blood Real Estates Limited, Blood JetPay Limited, Bill Points Technology. And the offenses include allegations on cryptocurrency fraud, aiding internet fraud, computer-related fraud, terrorism, and non-compliance with regulatory frameworks. They are saying that they are going to do due diligence on the investigations, and the cyberspace in Nigeria must be safe and secured by all means. They are committed to achieving that.
Okay.
Major headline breaks my heart. Captures the situation in most federal universities. They said that amidst darkness, Daily Sun said they uncovered that some institutions pay up to 350 million monthly, approximately 1.1 billion annually to various discos across the country, yet they still suffer epileptic power. It says, capturing the protests that happened in Uniben, where students took over campus protesting against the darkness and the high bills. And the story just goes across all universities, to Nsukka, to Unilag, to Uniben, all of them. And I'm wondering, was this light up, was it TESCOM? What they call the university? Yeah. No, TESCOM is for secondary schools. I'm trying to get
the body.
TED Fund. There was TED Fund, that was putting on alternative power, solar powers in most universities under the last administration. How come that, universities cannot find alternatives to what is happening?
This is a conversation that we keep having, because I don't even know,
somebody should audit that.
There's always that issue of also school fees. They can also argue that I don't have enough money, because when they wanted to increase school fees, we all lament that.
No, this cost we can mitigate. This cost, find alternative power. Higher institutions should not run without power.
Yeah.
Yes. You see that story? When we start to compare the standard of education abroad, these are the issues.
Yes.
Exactly.
They can also power themselves. That's why they have research labs.
Yes.
I mean, they don't do research in these universities anymore.
But
they can find how they can use waste to power their environment.
That's what I've been trying to do that for years. They're not going to do that. It's not as cheap as we think. It's nice on paper, but it's a whole different thing to put it out there. Others have been trying to convert this waste into power. Even Lagos, I know there's research ongoing to do it. It's not as cheap as we think. It's nice on paper, but it's practically solely different.
And we know, under the last administration, there was TED Fund light up campuses.
Yeah,
that project.
Trying to convert it for years.
Somebody should audit
it. Even in my house, I can do it.
Okay. Can the governors of the state
let us move on.
Let's talk campuses. Let's know what that project.
Anytime we need to review our universities, and we need money to that, we all all
Complain.
protest and complain.
Yes.
And yes, we still see and we complain there's not enough electricity, there's not enough, there's not enough.
Increase university fees if you like, but you see, power for universities is sacrosanct to
They
universities.
can also get
And
their
if we have
power.
done a project before, because this conversation comes up every time with ASU, if something like that has been done before and now we still have them complaining of darkness, somebody should audit that money.
But the discourse, what is their community give back? Can't they do that?
Yeah,
They
they've not made money yet.
That's not they pay
They
bill.
never reached cost reflective.
Federal government
Money
just
never
let their
reach
own.
them.
Anyways,
The federal government has announced the repatriation of 190 Nigerians from the United Arab Emirates. Maybe they come back, they own too much. The returnees received them at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, yesterday at 5:57 a.m. And they were received by a combined team of government officials led by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. NEMA's Zonal Director, North Central, Bashir Idris, said the returnees were profiled and documented by relevant agencies and census to behave with decorum and responsibility on their return to Nigeria. The federal government urges all Nigerians that when they're in foreign currencies, they should carry themselves and know that they are examples and ambassadors of our country, Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes, that they should uphold the fundamental values of patriotism, rule of law, decency, and integrity. Because these are all the reasons why countries keep banning us. And then when they lift the ban, they make it unbearable and unrealistic for us to get their visas. That's all.
No plans to hand over universities. Who has that story? I thought somebody had that story. The federal government said that there was no plan to hand over government-owned tertiary institutions, particularly the universities, to private owners. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, was saying this yesterday at the clarification at the second quarterly engagement of the ministry. Said because the Academic Staff Union of University had accused the federal government of plans to hand over the federal universities to public-private partnership. And he said that's not true. There is no plan to sell off the universities to investors. He said, noting that the policy of the government allows for transactional and transnational education. According to him, transnational education is a policy on what this government is doing is to open up tertiary education by taking people from the rest of the world to come and invest in the tertiary system. Some people are carrying information that the federal government is selling off to private investors. That's not true. So it's transnational, such that people from different countries can actually come and invest in our universities. It has nothing to do with them owning the universities. Okay, moving on now to the Nigerian Tribune. More states get set for local government polls. Kano governor signs bill creating 3 second-class emirates into law. Pro-Fubara lawmakers counter Emir Wule, give governor go-ahead to spend state funds. Court remands 98 suspects over Benue communal clash. Oyo Assembly to invite FEMA over deplorable federal roads. And NCDC warns of rising yellow fever cases amid cholera outbreak. Okay, which story?
Okay. Did you say, okay, it's Tribune you took. I thought you took the Vanguard.
Okay.
I didn't have a...
So, Chief Magistrate Court sitting in Makurdi, Benue State on Tuesday remanded 98 persons in Correctional Center over the violent protests that occurred in Ukum, local government area of the state 2 weeks ago. The court, however, adjourned the case till August 21 for further mention. They said 99 persons were arraigned in court, but one of the suspects, who was a nursing mother, was granted bail. And according to First Information Reports, that's FIR, the accused persons were charged with criminal conspiracy, mischief by fire, culpable homicide, mischief, theft, armed robbery, and acts of terrorism. The FIR also read that the caretaker chairman of the Ukum local government area, Victor Loza, had been reported to the police that bandits attacked Bokio ward in Ayati, July 3rd at about 3 a.m. in the morning and killed 6 persons. The same day at about 8 hours, violent protesters in their thousands started burning down private and government property, including Ukum local government secretariat. Now, others listed to have been burnt down by the protesters include schools, Federal Road Safety Corps Office, courts, Civil Defense Office, Unity, Access and United Bank of Nigeria, that's the banks, hotels, Benue Link Parks, residential buildings, INEC area, and office, BRS office, police station, NUT office, and local government guest house amounted to millions of naira. This has really got to stop.
Okay, so I have an interesting case inside the papers. Kogi State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of a police inspector, Aminu Mohammed, and his gang over alleged armed robbery in the state. It's so sad that the people that are meant to protect us are the ones actually becoming a menace to society. So that they said that they always plan robberies around their division, they steal cars, and rob people. But unfortunately for them, luck ran out on him when usually they take the cars to the panel beaters to change the plate number, change the color of the car. But this time around, they had changed the color of the plate number of the car. They wanted to change the color of the car when someone reported the incident and alerted the police. The police came and to them, and they said this is not the first time that his gang members said that he was specific that they should go and rob that particular house because of that particular car. So people around his neighborhood and his village said that this is not the first time that he lives in a very palatial house and he brings luxurious cars to the house. Yes, that is not the first time he's doing it. So he targets people and does that. And the Commissioner of Police in the state has personally picked interest in it because he has vowed that how can police, that these are people that bring bad names to police officers. So they need to investigate to see other police officers that, are involved in this.
Vanguard, our last people this morning, FG's policies crippling businesses is NECA and Nasima and others. Sunday Boho to armed headers, leave Southwest now. Which story?
I have Sunday Boho. So I don't know. This Vanguard says that the report is sketchy. It says, but the Yoruba Nation agitator had issued a fresh eviction notice to all notorious headers who continue to kidnap and rob people in the Southwest zone. And his spokesperson, Olayomi Koiki, in an audio message, released a new notice saying that they should immediately vacate the forest, especially Okeogun area of Oyo State. But they said that the veracity of it is not verifiable right now. And I'm hoping that this does not start again. He had issued such warnings in the last administration. If there are criminals in the forest, this should be the business of the IG. So please, if the IG is watching, please, as soon as possible, before we have these ethnic issues again, let's be on top of the situation.
Let me just go back to the story I took earlier concerning the Ministry of Education saying that foreign universities are not coming to take over. So, I got a clearer picture of what the story is about. I think it's really important for us to have a better understanding. So what the minister was stressing was the fact that international organizations that actually run universities abroad, what they're doing, they're opening our own tertiary institutions for these people to come in. So they have two options, either to come and build their own university, because there are even more private universities in Nigeria than public universities, or partner with ours and help to resuscitate it somewhat. So they've done this. This format has been done in Asia, other parts of the world like Asia. They have benefited immensely from having international institutions to those countries come into their universities and help them, maybe administrative, academics, and in other areas. So they have taken the standards of those countries and also for the exchange and bringing money into those countries. So it's not us handing over our universities to them. It's them coming to invest in our own university. Hopefully we'll see some real difference in education. That's all we can take on Front Page Review this morning. When we go on a break, when we come back, we continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. According to reports, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the nation's military high command to convert their vast expanse of land across the country into an agricultural hub as part of efforts to address the growing food shortage and insecurity in our country. Joining us to shed more light on this is the Chairman House Committee on Defense, Honorable Babajimi Benson. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Good morning, panelists.
Yes. So the very first question that came to mind when I saw this report is, how much land are we really talking about? I mean, asking for the military base to convert their land. I mean, is it not that enormous for the president to actually have them to convert it?
Yes, the military has vast lands, unutilized land all over the length and breadth of Nigeria. Don't forget that the military also have, the armed forces also have various agencies that works for them, i.e. DICON. We all know DICON, Defense Industries of Nigeria. They have vast lands. The NDA has vast lands. Nafric is domiciled in Lagos. You need to go and see what they're doing with their agri department. The governor of Lagos State also graciously granted them land for expansion recently. As a matter of fact, the armed forces already have, the Nigerian Army has a farm. It's called Farms and Ranches. It was set up in 2018 by General Buratai. Fortunately, the first MD of that company is the present Chief of Defense Staff. So it's a really good step in the right direction. We have vast forests in Nigeria, Sambisa Forest, a lot of forests in Akure, Idore, and Co. So if Mr. President gives the armed forces the marching order, it's in line with his constitutional role. The president can ask the armed forces, the major function of the armed forces is to defend the territorial integrity of Nigeria and also to carry out any assignments given to them by Mr. President.
All right.
So, Honorable Benson, this is interesting. Well, when I saw the news, I was already imagining that at some point we'll have market days where soldiers come into the market and display their wares. You know, people can buy for very affordable. It sounded more like a movie to me, and I'm really looking forward to it. But I'm worried that, or it's more like a question. Do you think we have enough manpower in the army to be able to have people who will be manning the farms? If we take, you know, considering the fact that we need more people into the military that would help us with security, do we have enough people to also handle farms?
The Nigerian Armed Forces are very, very nimble, technological savvy. So there are various arrangements that can come into play. Nowadays, people even do farming with drones and gadgets like that. Aside from that, they can go into partnership with states, with private sector players. But the most important thing is for the arrangement to see that the armed forces are available and they have a stake in it. You know, when the armed forces are in a place, there's a corresponding fear on the evildoers to stay away. So various arrangements can come into this to ensure that there's efficiency and that the global idea that Mr. President is fostering sees the light of the day.
Okay, so when you talked about partnership and private sector, and then you mentioned that some of the places are like maybe the Sambisa Forest, you know, where they've been unrest. Do you think like the private sector will want to venture into places like this, like the Sambisa Forest, for example, or places that they've been unrest? You know, because...
So that's why I said there will be various arrangements. You know, so there will be mapping. There will be some that will be solely for the armed forces to farming. There will be some where relatively safe, where private sector people can be welcomed in. There will be some where states, for instance, some forest reserves have been assigned to states where the states would say, okay, armed forces, please join us in doing this together. You know, so various arrangements, various strategies will be used to map out which arrangement best suits a particular area.
Okay, Honorable Jimmy Benson, this is not the first time I'm seeing, you know, this kind of things happening. I schooled in the Ojo barracks, and I see the wives of the soldiers farming. Most of the lands are used like that. But even at the Ojo barracks now, you see incursion into the barracks space. We used to brag that it was the largest cantonment in West Africa. But you see incursion into that space. I'm wondering, how is this going to happen, where people don't come and get farmlands and in the future claim it's their family land, sell it to total strangers, and we have the kind of disputes that we are settling right now that I see commonly settled in Ojo?
Yes, you know, like I said, Mr. President has given them a marching order to farm. So that marching order is a presidential directive. Like you rightly said, the Ojo area where you see people farm, the vegetables there, yes, I'm sure that the biggest vegetable farmers in Lagos State.
Yes.
The impact those vegetables have in the state of Lagos can never be emphasized. Yes. So more reason why presidential order has been given, and I think that takes precedence over skirmishes or claim of land, because the first urgency of now is to ensure that there is food security.
I don't know. I'm a bit still. I can't wrap this thing around my head because I feel like it might jeopardize the territorial integrity of our army base, and maybe herders coming in and out. Trucks coming in to come and collect produce. I mean, when you think of the Nigerian army, you think of a secluded group of people who are there to protect the nation. So when they start getting involved in stuff like farming, I'm like, it totally, for me, waters down the office of a Nigerian soldier. So I can't see it. I still don't understand it. Are they going to be are the officers going to be the farmers? Are they going to engage farmers? It's not very clear. And as a Nigerian, sometimes I feel, I know that the president is trying to have new ideas, but has this been properly thought through to be sure that it doesn't jeopardize our own territorial integrity? Also, people are coming in to come and fight our country, and then our soldiers are busy in the farming. I don't get that.
Busy defending the yams.
So the best form of security is food security. Once there's food security also endangers, food security also promotes gainful employment. When your people are happy, they're farming, they have food on their table, and they have a source of livelihood to depend on, the likelihood that they will join perpetrators of evil is a bit reduced. And Nigeria is not the only country that allows its armed forces going to farming. I can count a lot of countries who have benefited from it. Now, anything that the armed forces venture upon, any type of trade, businesses, there's discipline, and they give their all, particularly when there is a presidential directive that underpins these assignments. So I believe that's why I said they will go into collaboration arrangements. The locals will get involved. Like one of you said that in the Ojo barracks, the wives of the soldiers were full participants. I foresee a situation where, particularly in the northern states, the small-scale farmers would also be incorporated into this. So it's not just going to be army farming. It's going to be an all-society approach arrangement. All hands will be on deck to ensure that food is grown on the vast lands. So what would you do with the vast lands that the military have, right? Would you leave it fallow, or would you take the very, very positive initiative that Mr. President has put on the table, that they should engage all their farms to productive use? I think it's a step in the right direction. I think we should be positive about this. I think if it works, if all society approach, if we all put and believe it will work, and we see a good, we proffer advice.
Let me go on.
Well, I think. Okay.
Let me go on a very short break. We'll continue with you when we come back. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still having the conversation with Honorable Jimmy Benson in the studio.
Yeah.
Nima had a question for you.
Yes, sir. Honorable, please.
Yes.
Morale's question, I don't think you got it well. Just using the Ojo example again, we have some of the women coming in from outside town into the barracks to farm, and the money they take their produce to the Igbo market, whichever market their buyers are, and they sell. Don't you think that, invades or relaxes the security within the barracks, especially up north? If you were to use that example up north, and you have strangers, anybody can come into the barracks under the guise of farming.
Yes.
And
even these the insurgents, the terrorists can come in through and say they are farmers.
Exactly.
So this can wait also.
So what are we doing in that area to secure
security.
the barracks?
Yes, don't forget that the military and logistics experts, right? Once this framework is put in place, it's a lot of planning is going into it. Once farms are identified, the protective arrangement and strategies we put in place to protect people that are coming to farm. Listen, we have to think out of the box here, right? We have to do things in a very unusual way. We should also commend Mr. President for initiating this. Don't also forget that the First Lady has also started a green revolution. She started farming in her backyard. So let's use the media and press to grow this. Let's make it positive in the minds of people. I'll give you an example. In America, right, you have 3.6 producers, farmers, right? 11% of them are either veterans, military veterans, or active duty member. So it is something that can ignite a revolution. Let us be positive about this. The administration has put in a think tank with the military and the ministry. We're all going to sit down on Monday, have a very decent conversation. Everything you've spoken about will be trashed out, and we will find a workable solution that will take people back to farm and make Nigeria great again with food security.
Yes. Honorable, we just took that American statistics out of my mouth. I was going to start with that. And I also understand that not every soldier is a combatant soldier. They have different departments where they function in. And if we decide to add farming and agriculture to one of their functions, I think it's not a bad idea. I'm just, curious to understand, if we have experts on ground who would give solutions to some of these ideas we are raising, because, we must find a way to tighten the loopholes so that we do not start this and at the end of the day we are realizing these kidnappers are coming in,
TVC,
terrorists are coming in.
Let me give you an assignment. I'd like you to visit, you're in Lagos, I'd like you to visit NAFRIC, Nigeria Armed Forces Resettlement Center. You'll be amazed at what is going on in that little place in Oshodi. It is a place where they wind down service people who want to retire. So they give them like training on going into the real world. If you go there, they have ranching, they have hydroponics, they have fish ponds, they have everything.
Wow.
So that small scale structure
Already.
Right? It is what we want to expand into Nigeria. And like I said, General Buratai set up the Nigerian Army farms and ranches in 2018, right about that. They already have ranches, they already have farms all over Nigeria. So it is just for us to double down based on the presidential directive, help them get more resource, link them up with the Ministry of Agriculture, and ensure that this good initiative is nurtured to a logical end that will benefit the greatest good in Nigeria.
Yes, because, Honorable, you already took it out of my mouth because I wanted to talk about the cattle rearing, wanting to know if it was part of it, because we noticed that part of the problems here we're having in Nigeria is getting enough land for ranchers, to start the ranching type of cattle rearing. So it's a good thing.
So like I said, I want you to please visit NAFRIC. They have a ranch there in Lagos.
Okay. Research.
You will see how fat the cattle are. Okay. You'll be amazed that in this small environment, this is going on here. Yes, the governor of Lagos State graciously visited the place and graciously granted them maybe about 100 hectares of land to come and farm. That is an example of how we can escalate these little good things they're doing in Isolo, in Lagos.
Right.
In Lagos,
Yes.
Right? So imagine if we populate this all over the available land they have. I've seen it. That's why I'm also very passionate about it. I've seen what is going on in Africa. I've seen what is going on in Plateau. They have a ranch in Plateau. I've seen what is going on in Kerfi, in Nasarawa. I've seen what is going on in Abuja here. They're doing very, very, very well, and they need to be encouraged.
Fantastic. Okay.
Okay, so this is truly commendable, but this is not the first time. What we've seen in the past is that the farmers work with their hands and in a self-subsistence way help themselves. Is there any plan to, to bring machines in and mechanize this kind of farming that we're proposing now so that they also have access to,
I also think we need to read Mr. President's pronouncement very well. Apart from that, they're ordering 2,000 tractors, fertilizer,
Okay.
a lot of things. So this backward integration is real. Everything they're going to be doing is going to be underpinned by Mr. President's laudable pronouncement. So duty-free on some farm implements that they're bringing in. So everything will be mechanized, and we're going to link them up for them to enjoy maximum benefits from the laudable importation that Mr. President will be doing. We're going to link them up with the Ministry of Agri. So it's going to be a value chain that will add value to everybody.
All right, let's talk about local government autonomy for a moment, because I remember that you also alluded to this. So military aside, how can we begin to engage local governments across the nation, 774 of them, on agriculture? What can they begin to do, or what is your office doing to see how citizens can begin to demand service, proper service from their local government chairman, as we now begin to see they'll be collecting money directly from FAC?
So all society approach to security, yes, it's inevitable, right? So for you to get the citizens together to ensure that they all protect their surroundings, you have to give them service, right? Service also means money. There are a lot of spaces in Nigeria that are ungoverned, so the military tells us that at times they go to places, right? By the time they secure the places, the people become nonchalant because they don't have a functional local government chairman or local government authority that can engage those youths with gainful employment or literally two things for them to do. And they're also saying that the devil finds work for the idle, right? So what this revolution that Mr. President has fostered will do is that everybody now knows that money comes into the local government, and the key functions of local government chairman are residuary. That is, they need to fix roads, build schools, build healthcare centers, little things like that mean a whole lot to an ecosystem in a little place, right? So I believe that when the local government chairman get enough funding and the people are aware that huge amounts have come into the coffers of the local government, they will begin to demand for service. And the same, that the people in government, the people outside of government are greater than the people in government. So those people outside of the government, the public, would also be very, very eager to ensure and to monitor that X amount is coming. Local government chairman, how are you going to be accountable with this money? And we also have to remind local government chairmen that they are not as invincible as the governors are because they don't have any immunity. So there's a corresponding responsibility that should be demanded from the populace, that account for this money that you receive. So I think it's a self-accounting strategy, and that is popular, and that will make insecurity go down. If you ask any of the service chiefs, anytime they come to us, what they always ask for is autonomy, that you cannot use security to kill poverty, that the local government administrators need to step into the space and ensure that they gainfully employ women, men, the service, that the area is service. So when there's a service going on,
right,
there are opportunities to gainfully employ people.
Thank you very much. Let me let you go at this time. Thank you very much, Honorable Benson, for joining us.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day, all.
Thank you, sir. Let's go on a short break now. We'll come back with our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So Wednesdays, we love to bring women we love, women who are doing great things, women we admire. And today, we have our guest. She's a businesswoman, author, storyteller. She has written inspiring books like The Unlikely Oil Merchant, Letters on Parenting, and Abike, A Harvest of Grace. With a background in business administration, her investment ventures cut across farming, hospitality, and real estate. Welcome with us, Mrs. Omotayo Fakorede in the building.
Welcome.
Good to have you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
At first, I noticed they had the henna.
Yeah.
What's Auntie? You're still doing henna at this young age of
I
yours.
just got back from Ilori for a week-long wedding.
Nice.
The Begores was really beautiful. And it was my first time of doing this. I love the culture. Monday there was a program, Tuesday program. And
Okay, so tell us a bit about yourself. Many people are watching the show, they have no idea who you are. Give us a background of where you grew up, how you got into business, and the whole works. Let's start with that.
Okay, thank you. My name is Basirat Omotayo Fakorede. And I grew up in Lagos Island, born, buttered, bred. I stepped out to school in Elaro for a moment and then came back to Lagos as well. I started business quite early when I joined my mom after my national diploma. I wanted to go back for my higher degree, but I started counting money and then couldn't go back again. So I still wish to do it sometimes if I have my way.
Right.
But here I am today. I am married to Are Bashir Fakorede. We have 5 lovely children, 4 girls and a boy. We run our businesses, mostly gas stations, and we've been in it for since 1995.
Whoa, that's a lot.
And then we are not much and we're not little in our own way, but here we are.
I like your passion to profit. When I read the profile sent, I noticed that they talked about your crochet making. It's something that I've always admired from afar. You see this, my hand is only to chop. I don't know how to do, handwork like that. How did it start for you? And, how did you now make such a hobby, a profit thing?
Okay, I hashtag it passion to profit. I'm sure some of us that schooled at that time had this, they take us to centers on Fridays, whereby we learn little things going on. And then that's where I got the initial knowledge of it. Growing up, and I met a mentor, so to say, in the person of Mrs. Dolapo Shibaju. One day we were going out and then we were waiting for the flight at the airport. And meanwhile, we drove past Crafty's shop in Ikeja. Yeah. So she just got me a handle of a bag and a wool and also some yarns and then the pin. So while waiting, she just gave them to me, said, watch me. And I'm like, I don't think I want to do this. You've been teaching it for years. I'm not interested. She said, just watch me. And then she was doing the same thing as I was. And then I was just mumbling and doing anything I could. And when the flight came, she left and said, send me pictures as you progress. And I struggled with it till now. And all of a sudden, I saw that this is like a passion. I tried to teach quite a number of people the little I know. And people started getting involved in it. And what I see is, for crochet these days, it's becoming like the makeup of them. Yeah. When there's no work and people like ladies especially tend to want to find their hands doing something or the other. So crochet is becoming big now. Everyone opening an Instagram page to promote whatever they're doing and all of it. Before I knew it, I was in China, I got some products. And in my neighborhood, I didn't know people were looking for yarns. And I just kept a little there. Let's play here. I called it a crochet hub. Ladies come in, we lounge, we talk, we do crochet. Let me see what you're doing, what project are you on, and all of that. Before I knew, the whole yarn finished. So since then, it's becoming a business for me.
I'd like to redirect this conversation to how do you make money? Like, because when we see women who have money, who are looking good, who are still doing henna at your age, we know you have something. So we want to learn, how did you start the business? Say you have a few stations here and there, see if it just came like that. What are some of the sacrifices? Give us the step, because we want to learn from your own experience so that we too,
the investments that started it.
The whole works. Give us some kind of direction.
I wrote a few of it in my book, highlighting my husband's journey in business and his person generally. The Unlikely Oil Merchant. He struggled, it's been a passion. He worked as a station manager with his former boss sometime, and he had a passion to run a gas station. But it was difficult for him to have one. And that was the dream he had, and he kept working, doing this and that to see if he could gather money to at least become a dealer in one of the major marketers, but it wasn't really easy for him. In the line of that dream, I met with him, and then we got married. And all I've done since we married is support him in everything he's been doing. So it's more of a, more or less a business,
Right.
a family business.
Right.
And it kept growing from step to step. I think we have about 15 stations in Lagos and its environs. Like I mentioned, small, small.
Okay, yes.
And some of them,
Yes.
and some of them are affiliated to major marketers. Some are named in our business name and all of that.
So let me take you back to what you said initially, how you started business early. I would like to have a bit of a history with that. Did you have parents who were into business? How did you get that idea to start making money very early? Just
my mom ran a shop in Okeari, Lagos. So during the holidays, we come home to help out and all of that. And then there's a particular thing she taught us, her brother and I, who lived with us then. And she would come home. She has a bunch of, packed monies in different denominations and scattered around. And she just pour it down. She has the amount, how she sold them. And then she knows the total of the money. She just pour it. She said, arrange this money in denominations and get me the total, both of you. I'm talking about when I was 15, 14, and I think I'm 2 years older than my brother. So we'll arrange. If it's short like 500 naira or so, she'll say, go back there. I know what I put in there. So those trainings helped to love, money, buying and selling and all of that. I tell my children now that business is good. Like Yoruba will say, I'm sorry, it says, Ishe asheje, owo ashela. So I love business. I love to buy and sell. It's been helpful.
When you're talking about that, I had the exact same experience as growing up. Fortunately, I didn't end up loving business. My mother used to make me count and arrange all the money. She'll come from Okeari, same thing, she has a store. And she'll make me just count all the money and help her batch it. But I don't know why business just...
Not your part.
I don't know.
That's why your mother loved me.
Yes. So most of your book are self-explanatory, like The Unlikely, Oil Merchant, letters on Parenting. Can you give us a little bit of insight? I'm interested in the Abike, A Harvester's Grace.
Okay, Abike, A Harvest of Grace is about my mom. Okay. So some time ago, I just sat down and I have ladies, the way they look at your family, your husband, and you love up and all of that. They think you don't have banters and all of that, So they'll come to me and tell me what they're going through, quite a number of them. And I'm like, I don't think I have these solutions and all of that. So one day I just picked one or two of them. I think about 4 of us for the first time. I said, let's sit with my mom. I think I saw some of the things she went through marriage-wise. Let's sit with her, let her just tell us how it is. Tell her what you are going through. She's one that I think has experiences in all this. My dad had 4 wives. She's the first, and some of the experiences she had in the process. So we sat with her, and then we were sharing up. She would tell, we would tear up, and all of it. So outside that, I saw the effect it had on those people. So I started gathering them. I call it an evening with grandma. We've had a couple of it happening, and we see people talking, telling their passions, crying up, and all of that. We don't record it. So it made people to be able to open up and then gist with us. And they've gone home with coming back with beautiful feedbacks, how it had helped them. There was a particular one that gave us a take-home. She mentioned, our grandma eats. And something like that. If grandma could survive till now, why can't I? And all of that. So when we kept on, I just feel like, let me make this story into a book. Let people, you can't doubt what you see, like my teachers say. So let's gather.
Talk about your husband, your relationship with your husband, because we see the pictures. You guys are always doing all these.
Lovey-dovey.
So I follow you on social media, and I see all these.
Are they
lovey-dovey? Tell us, how did...
I'm taking after you.
We don't do lovey-dovey. Our own is very okay. That's your degree. Your degree is high level. But how have you guys sustained that love?
How many years is the marriage?
My first is 28 years old, my first child.
The first child.
She got married last year, Moyo.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And, we've had I once asked my children, do we fight? Your dad and I, you people seem like there is no issue. You say you bicker. you don't fly.
You big cat. I like that.
So that's where we are. We have our moments.
Yes.
But in a little, we die here.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of
That's
thing.
the goal. Okay, so I was fortunate to see a play on Sunday, produced by Ola Owakon, one of our colleagues here. And it was about the market woman story, the market leader story. It was Abibatu Mogaji, Abisola Mogaji, market woman, her biography written by Yerima and played out as a play. And while watching, my small experience as a 16-year-old market woman in the Lagos Island, picking up things to sell, started coming. Because people tell the market woman story from a place of poverty, no opportunities, and seeing it, I remember Alaja Davis, may Allah rest her soul. She used to give me goods. I want you to just share, a market woman's success story. Because most people don't know how successful those market women are.
Exactly.
They inspire so much in me. And I would really like, just as you were talking, someone who has a success story of, you have your struggles, but your business was your distraction. It was what you put in all your best. It was from there you raised the best of children who went abroad, who became president today. I would like that kind of story, your mother's story.
Well, I don't think there is a particular syllabus to selling. It depends also in the area of what you're doing. We've seen people, run it and it came down. We've seen people stay steadfast and all of it. The only thing I'll say is the steadfastness, is God's help and grace, and you just know that this is your forte. Yeah. This is your calling. We've seen people that are meant to be in market areas that they are in 9 to 5. Yeah. And you see people in 9 to 5 that, come on, you're supposed to be selling. I know I have a little mentee, BC. I tell her, BC, you can market, you can sell, look at all of this. And then sometimes you see what you wear, people like them, and then you can just buy and sell them. So it is just, it's inbuilt, so to say. Right. It's not that you're not going to have issues being a market person or even in 9 to 5. Right. But then, just face it, they usually had been, I need someone to sponsor me, I need money, I need, wet with her. Even though Yoruba mentioned that, if you don't have a help, especially mentors and financial helps and whatever help you need when you are buying and selling, when it comes to selling, basically, wealth delays and it may never come.
So we know that.
I'm sorry, Mariah, and I think that is part of the things that get back to what we are doing today. Yeah. And I'm going to
tell us about what you're doing today.
Okay. It's called Ignite Career Innovative. And I'm not meant to speak about them, but because it's powered by my husband, that's why I'm here to talk on them and on what we do. My husband is somebody that is passionate about financing people through education, maybe because of his upbringing, he didn't have that. Before I forget, I did that Unlikely Oil Merchant into a movie. It's called The Gay.
So you produced it.
It's called The Gay, and it's on Prime.
Very nice.
Now.
Oh, nice.
It's a story of.
Oh, nice. It's now we can watch it on Prime.
It's on Prime now. It's been there since December.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's there. You can watch it. It's just to inspire youth, inspire young ones that you can do this, even though it is not easy, but it's doable. So, like I mentioned, this is his passion to sponsor people through school, sponsor them through whatever initiative they want to do. So this Ignite Career initiative is the first and they speak with. They are the ones that go to universities, see people that are passionate about businesses and what they want to do, and look for sponsors to help them. So today we are giving out their certificates of incorporation, paid for by my husband. Wow. So we want to target Are Bashir Foundation, Fakorede Foundation for them. So he pays some school fees all over Lagos. He spends people abroad. He sponsors them and all. I know a lot of people do it, but we need more people to help in this initiative with the Ignite Career, which is not us. We just powered. We need more people to help them. Well done. So we are giving out the certificate today in Unilag for about 3,000 students. Wow. So they are coming out in batches. But the first set, if you wait for all of them to come out, some of them would have passed out and we won't be able to give them. So we are giving about 500 out today. And then as it's coming out, we keep giving it to them.
Congratulations, well done.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on diversifying your portfolio? Because I can see that your wealth didn't just come from maybe the oil, right? That also you have investments in farming and in other sectors. So what are your thoughts on a business person or an individual diversifying their portfolio and not sticking to something in terms of wealth creation?
Okay, to me, I think when the time is there, right, you will know you can diversify. I remember when we were still struggling to stand, because my husband likes production a lot. He said, I want to be like Baba Koya. I want to be like doing pharmaceutical. I want to, he's always passionate and have a lot of mentors that gives him drive. Yeah. So he started this line of producing these bags, the nylon bags, paper bags, talk of poly bags and all of that. But then he didn't make it. So my own tag is, if your eye is single, your whole body will be full of light. But he's just wanting to do this and that. But we got a point, and he said he wanted to go into dredging, wanted to go to estate management, wanted to go into farming. So we named each of them, whatever they were. And when the time was ripe, he was able to do that, which gave birth. But primarily, the oil business gave back to all other businesses out there.
Congratulations again. So
thank you so much.
So people are going to Unilag to meet you guys.
From here, I'm Unilag presenting on his behalf to the students.
Fantastic. Well done.
Well
We're here to support your work.
Thank you,
and let us know when.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So there's an ongoing report about a police officer, superintendent of police, who was arrested, detained by the police for allegedly raping a 17-year-old at the Ogudu police station. And many have actually expressed their displeasure of this occurrence that happened quite recently. Lagos State Police Command says it has detained one of its officers who allegedly raped the 17-year-old at the area H Command Ogudu. The command spokesperson, Superintendent of Police Benjamin Hundeyin, confirmed the arrest on Sunday, July 14th. According to the News Agency of Nigeria, the girl became a victim of alleged violent sexual assault while trying to recover her alleged missing phone. The police had lured her, saying that they have found the thief who took her phone. By the time she got to the police station, he locked the door, and that's when he took advantage of her. She was raped. And then I think her family members or sisters posted it on social media. Of course, it went viral, and the police has immediately reacted. Now, this is one of those really painful stories that you don't even know where the conversation should start from, because the parents who sent the 17-year-old to the police station would also try to blame herself. That why did I even follow this girl?
Yeah.
There are so many places you regrets here, and people will feel regrets. The fact that we have a police that nobody can feel secure. You can't even send a child to a police station that's supposed to be one of the most secure places.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, that's where your child, your minor, got raped. So there are so many parts of this that it's really confusing. And let me hear your thoughts on this when you heard the story. BC, let me start with you.
Yeah, so it's a very painful one to see people who are supposed to be protecting us as citizens, lives and property, do this sort of thing, especially when it comes to a minor. That girl was 17, for crying out loud. If you needed to do something, there are people you can go and meet. Say you don't want to touch your wife, and your body is charging you. There are people you can go and meet, pay them, and do whatever it is that you want to do. But somebody who came to you in trust so that you are able to do your job and help them recover their stolen property, you now, in turn, do harm to that person. This is so unfair. I'm very happy that his face is showing, right? And the way that we are going to follow up this case so that it's not hidden, and nobody should be asking for forgiveness, because at the end of the day, what we see is the family will be appealed to, forgive now, let you know he's a married man, he has a family, you will ruin his life, you ruin his business. He should have thought of that before defiling a 17-year-old. So I like the fact that his face is out there. And even after this case is sort of resolved, he should be made a sex offender publicly. There should be a place where you go to and you see these people so that they are named and shamed for the rest of their lives. You don't do this. It's wickedness. I'm also worried about the girl in question. You know, you've lived your life till you are crossing into womanhood. You know, you have escaped all of these things. You know, when you get to a certain age and you did not experience some of these things, you thank God, because it's not easy to be a girl in Nigeria. Honestly, it's not. And then just as you are crossing into adulthood, this sort of thing happens to you. What could she be going through right now? The sort of trauma that she'll be going through, this may likely mar her for the rest of her life. I want us to also pay attention to the girl in question. What sort of help are they giving to her right now? What sort of therapy are they giving to her right now? If the parents sort of need people to handle that, they can speak out. We'll find people who would, you know, sort of help the girl while that man is being punished. We don't want to hear that they've finished the case, so they're forgiving. There's no forgiveness right now. Okay.
I'm very grateful. Okay,
Go ahead.
I'm very grateful that this happened in Lagos. At least here they have a system. I expect the office of Mrs. Vivo to, you know, get on top of it for the girl's sake, help her with therapy, psychosocial support, and all of that. But my appeal here, this has happened, is that the police, this is one we have heard. This might not be the first time a police officer puts a gun to a girl's head. Yeah. What is even outrageous is the fact that it happened within the station. And so the way these police stations are built, these kind of things can happen. And nobody will hear the outside the door.
Yeah.
They are old buildings. They are not modern buildings. Even the state CID Kwanti here, when you go there, you see the structure. These police officers also need a proper building, a good office. If their walls can be glass paneled, how does a superintendent of police lock up a girl and have a whole day of rape and the poor girl cannot cry? You know, if you, they should build more modern offices for them, facility for them, glass paneled wall, glass wall, so that everybody will be seeing what is happening. Yeah. Let everything be transparent. It should not be the old colonial buildings anymore. Most of the police stations are outdated. If you talk about structure, even it's not motivating enough for the officers working.
Yeah.
You know, it allows a lot of bad things happen within the place that is supposed to be the most secure for any individual. If I was supposed to come and report a criminal in my neighborhood, for instance, just by movement and outside, and somebody that knows me that sees something tells the criminal, and that's it, I'm the first suspect. But let's have proper buildings that are glasses, so that you can, at least, nothing like of this kind of nature will happen to any young girl in that place.
Those things, we see modern offices have those glass walls, and we always wonder why they do that. It's because of this transparency.
Yes.
No underhand dealings here, no even corruption. People can take pictures,
then
can record you,
everywhere.
that took money from Black. But you know, so there are the reasons why these modern offices like that. So you're very correct. These are some of the structures that we need to put in place going forward. What are your thoughts when you heard this story, Amaka?
Yeah, so this is absolute abuse of power.
Yes.
Of power in two senses. One, that you raped a child or a girl that came to report a case by using the gun. Because I'm sure if that man did not use the gun on the girl, maybe she should have been able to scream. But when you see, like, someone says, if you open your mouth, threaten, if you open your mouth, I'll shoot you. So maybe that was also why she didn't, you know, she didn't cry out. And then secondly, using information that you obtained from the police station, because you knew that someone reported a case of a missing phone. So you used an information, data within the security agency. You use that information to lure somebody into the police station. So, you know, if they're even trying him, they should be on both. Do you understand? On both sides, yes. So this is really terrible. Like, you hear things like that. Even from, I don't know how confirmed this is, because I'm seeing that from conversations being had online, that the commander and that he's the man's wife, that they've been begging the parents, the girl's mom, to hush the matter. But this is no longer, this is out of their hands, because we all need to get involved. Yes, you know, to make sure that justice is served, so that as a deterrent to other police officers that abuse their powers. This is sad. Imagine the audacity to even do that inside the police station. So you can imagine what also happens to all these girls that they go to Allen, they come to Admiralty, they pick up all these girls that maybe they're prostituting themselves. You can imagine what happens to those ones that can't even speak out, those ones that they keep overnight, right? You can imagine what they're doing to those girls. So they really need to look not just into this particular matter, into what happens to women and girls when brought into the station. Absolutely. Yes, we need to look into this matter.
That's a very, very good point. Because, I mean, when I was reading the report from SP Hundain, he had initially confirmed that the police, the detained officer had escaped, but then he turned himself in afterwards, and they assured the public that nothing will be swept under the carpet. They're going to do a full-scale investigation and ensure that justice is served. But you see, my worry is just what Amaka just said. There are so many more of these girls that this is happening to as we speak. We need proper interventions. It's very possible that many of these commissioners of police in their states must look inwards and see what they can do, especially those DPOs. This is a superintendent of police. He is also a bit of a high level. There should be something more. The kind of sanction in this should be very, very, weighty. I don't know, something weighty, extremely weighty. Because I've always advocated for castration. I think somebody has also advocated for castration or total. There's got to be something. It can't be just put them in jail. Putting in jail is no longer sufficient. So we need the CP also to come out openly, because we need more he for she's being verbal, vocal, and being the forefront of this fight against molestation, rape of minors, or even anybody at all.
Yeah,
so
male
we need them to come to be very, very, very vocal. We need them to be. We need to see them, that you are visible and that you have a position on this matter, because this case in particular should not be set on the carpet.
Should even be making
I think we also
example.
add that mental evaluation for these our officers is something that should be done regularly. It's not just at the point of recruitment, where they are just doing some of those, they are training, you get a few psychiatrists and therapists, they talk to them 1 day, 2 days, and it's done. It's something that must be put in their schedule that they review over and over. It will be quarterly, you know, just to ensure that everybody working in that space, because I'm beginning to think that to have that sort of power where you know that, especially in a country like this, where you feel that you can do anything and get away with it. They say power intoxicates and corrupts and intoxicates, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Where you feel you can do anything and get away with it, somehow you need to be checked. So with those evaluations that will be happening from time to time, you can tell when one person done decrease and find a way to, you know, give that person time off to go for a rehabilitation, therapy, and all of that. See, we need to upgrade the way we run our security systems, because the world is changing. We can no longer do things the way we've been doing it and always claim that we do not have funds. These are some of the areas that we need to look into. From that, you can tell those people who are already having tendencies and how they investigate. I know that in some countries, there's an investigation that you're doing that you're not allowed to do it in a private place. There's always a camera watching, because they need to be sure that the officer handling it too is okay. And you're not infringing on the rights of, you know, the...
and let me take this call. Caller Wale calling from Ojo. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Yes.
Let me give a brief contribution. Nigerian police, we have some of the best among them, but also we have some of the worst among them. There was a time, very early in the morning, my vehicle broke down. I was with my wife in the dark. I didn't know they were police people. They were in Mufti, and they came to us. Can we help you? I said, yes, the vehicle broke down. And they helped us to push the vehicle to the side of the road while they continued their job. When we got the job done, I went to them. I said, oh, have this for your breakfast. The man refused. He refused. From his spoken word, it should be from the careless side. He said, Daddy, we have just helped you. You can go. You can see that kind of a thing. A policeman who is expected to tell someone that is of the age of his daughter, can I help you? What happened? What is the type of the phone? This and that. He now It's a gun he put on the girl and locked the girl inside and raped her. That rape she did to that girl, she has used that girl's virginity to prolong his own life. I'm a Yoruba man. I'm telling you what he has done to that girl. So they should investigate. They should ask the girl whether the girl is virgin or not. If the girl is virgin at the time he raped her, he has used his virginity. And that policeman should be thoroughly dealt with.
Thank you, Mr. Kolaole. Amaka was
The one we can
what I
verify
wanted
is
to...
that she's underage.
She's underage, yeah. Yeah. What I wanted to add to what she said, like, you know, in line with our president's, you know, agenda, renewed hope agenda, when we talk about transparency. So there should be transparency on every level, especially the security agencies, because nobody, I think that somehow the security agencies are too protected, right? There's just too much mystery surrounding them. Because even though you're incarcerated or you're inside prison or whatever, you still have your human rights, okay? And I think that they need to open up these places for transparency, for people to come in to have questions, most of these inmates, what's going on, what's happening to them, because we need to know, because I want to believe that a lot of transgression is happening inside these places. If you can come to a police station and this kind of thing can happen to you, I can imagine what's happening to people in the cell. I feel so burdened.
We're locked in, sir.
It's important for me to state here that the full investigation was actually ordered by the Commissioner of Police, Adegoke Fayo Ade himself. I had written, it was signed off by Benjamin Hundeyin, but actually it was a directive by the Commissioner. So the Commissioner of Police in Lagos is involved, which is a good thing. Just like when I was saying that we need to be more visible and verbal, I'm happy he has ordered the investigation, but we still need the posture. You know, we need to see that you're actually very much on top of this, and this person will be brought to book. He's a 56-year-old man that needs to be handled. I'll come to you in a second. Let me take Ade from London. Good morning, Ade.
Yes, I thank God that this one was exposed. What of all those ones happening that we don't hear about? That's number one. Number two, I think the policeman face should be shown to the whole world to know. I don't know what's wrong with these police people. Some of them are very nice, but many are bad. Even in UK, a policeman in Mufti arrested a girl going on her own, took her to the forest, raped her, and killed her there. He's been sentenced to prison now. A white policeman. So I don't know when they are police, because they have too much power. When they take you to court, they are the one they will believe whatever he says. The prosecutor would believe. So that is the problem. I think they should do something about it.
Yeah.
Because this family now should be compensated. And you understand, there are good police, but there are bad ones.
Which is what Maka was also trying to allude to, because it's like a cult. They always protect themselves. So we need to be sure that this person doesn't have the protection that the police has.
We've had scapegoat police officers in the past that, you know, the police service has decided to make scapegoats off. They, you know, either sack them, demote them publicly, and I'm sure this will be the end after the investigation of this person. Now, I must commend the commissioner for, you know, for giving the directive immediately. Lagos State has wealth of materials to find out what exactly happened in that police station. Number one, taking the girl swab, and even helping her with the kind of support she needs to help her heal. But you can imagine this kind of police officer at the desk when somebody is reporting a case of violence against the person, or domestic violence, any form of violence, or gender-based violence in that police station. You can imagine if we have police officers, the kind of mentality. So you remember those kind of questions. Wait till you find go there. Wait till you wear go there. Those kind of things. These are the people. The people, okay. There was one ridiculous one a victim was sharing. He was saying, you self, you know, enjoy them. And I enjoy on ourselves. You know? So such police officers, we don't want them at our desk. If the police can carry on training and post-training and pre-training, we will know the police officers who should be in the station and those who should be on the road. We will know those who should not even be in service. And even though we have shortness of hands, this continuous evaluation must be done from time to time. Because the injustice this thing brings is that a victim that comes before such an officer lacks the courage to continue. If they even had small one, the fear, the embarrassment they put them, and there are women police officers who think like this.
Really, sir. Let me take Mrs. Usman from Abuja. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning. This is the first time, my first time.
Welcome to the show.
Yes. Please, that police officer, I'm sure this is not his first time of raping girls. He has been doing it for a long time. Only God caught him today. Inshallah, he will be dealt with severely. There's no, people should follow it up. They should not allow him to go free. You know, a police officer, they like to cover themselves. They don't get involved there so that their name will not be tarnished. So make sure people follow it to the last conclusion. It should not escape this punishment. This is my contribution.
To a criminal, because he's a criminal. So you can imagine other cases of maybe fraud cases where they also have to handle money. And you know, another thing like we talk about, like in the police station, having that cartel thing is that most times they can't really punish one of their own because that person might threaten to expose other things going on in there, right? So there's a lot. So we need to, I don't know what should be done. Like if they should have other agencies that monitor or punish, you know, this, I don't know. But
let us take Simeon from Ojodu. Good morning, Simeon.
Good morning, my children.
Good morning.
You see, police force, there are many bad ones, and there are very few good ones. If you want to know them, go to Southeast and see what is going on there. You see at checkpoints, they will hold passengers. They will accept money from them. If you don't have the money, they will tell you. If you don't take care, you are not going back alive. Either they attach you to be an IPOB member or a criminal or a cultist member. That's all they do there every day. If you doubt, send your men to there and see what's going on that Southeast road. Over road, or Port any Southeast. That's what they are doing there. There are bad ones among them. There are many. If there's any way they can shuffle them and remove those bad ones out and leave the good ones, Nigeria will be better. Thank you.
See, I was telling you guys, I had to speak at Labison Nabanja yesterday, and the topic was trust and nation building. And this issue of trust keeps coming up because we don't trust the police to do a thorough investigation. We don't trust the police to ensure that justice is served. We don't trust that this man, this Ulabi man, would actually pay the right way for what he did to this young girl, what he allegedly did to this young girl. So the point is that how does a police buy back the trust of the Nigerian people? How do you, because they must see this situation as another opportunity to show that they are actually ensuring the safety and security of Nigerians.
Yes. So on this matter, the only way, it's very easy to get trust, is by doing what is right and be seen to be doing what is right, which is by punishing this person severely and let the public know the punishment that has been meted to this person as a way of deterrence. Very easy to buy trust. It's just that we're not ready to even buy the trust in the first place. But I also think that in sorting these issues in isolation, we are not going to the crux of the matter. We're not going to the foundation of the matter. Our police force needs to be re-engineered and rewired. Because following the history of the police, it was an offshoot of the colonial masters creating that agency to protect them. To see every other Nigerian who is a civilian as someone that can be pushed down, trampled on, disgraced, embarrassed, whatever it is they can met out to the person, and they can go away with it. So for us to get that sort of police, you know, when you travel to some countries and you see how their police is active in helping the citizens, how their police finds joy in what they are doing, is to re-engineer the police to understand that they are here to serve the people. They are here to protect the people. We need to change it from top to bottom. And how we are going to do that holistically is what I cannot sit here and decide. But we must begin to have the right conversations. What sort of orientation at the subconscious level? Because leave all this code of conduct, something that they talk about. They also follow through with the actions that they see their bosses do. Something is, they pick up somebody is calling, release that person. You know, saying our boy and all of that. They see all of that. And in their own little power, where they think they have power, they go ahead to frustrate the next person. That's one that is the lowest in rank. Will go ahead to frustrate the next civilian because I feel I can assert my power over this person. So it's a real engineering of what they are there to do, what they are called for. in the world, we have very bad people everywhere. There's no profession you don't find bad people. But there are some professions in our country that will be deliberate, that those bad people will not be found in this, sort of job or responsibility because of the enormity of the responsibility that they have. We cannot find thieves and criminals in a place like the police force because what they are doing is delicate. They actually have the lives of citizens in their hands. So while we're not saying that everybody is perfect, though, we need a form of perfection for so agencies. We need to be very deliberate about it.
There's hardly a system in the world that is good, that is perfect, why you don't find bad eggs trying to spoil the system. But you see Nigerians who lack patience.
Yeah.
I have sat a full day in the state CID to see the authorities because the police officers handling my matter were already messing things up. And you will go to a police officer, you're arguing the law, and the police officer said, in this my jurisdiction, this is what I will do. You take your brief, you repetition the authority, the highest authority, and you see, I have never seen a senior police officer not educated enough to understand the law or that wants to do mago-mago. Once you're able to approach them, there was a time my sister was teaching in a school and the proprietor of the school and his brother who co-invested had an issue. And then the next thing, before we knew it, we were in Alagbo. He had carried all the charges for fraud that he partnered with his brother. I was like, an invitation. We came there. When we're done with the investigation, I sat through. I will sit with you if I have your case. I sat, it's true. I was in a hurry, yes. I wanted to pick my child. I called for help. Nobody helped me. But I stayed it through. Because if you leave that person there and go home, another story. Yes. So when we're done, she had given her statement. She was going. I said, can I read through this? She said, no, she doesn't need lawyer here. I said, You will do patience, you will do wisdom with them. Because I know the next thing I will repetition the highest authority. And so we were about to leave. Said, no, you have to do bail. I said, who will do bail? You invited us here to give a statement. Yes. Is my sister the brother of the person? Is she the one you invest? She's a teacher in the school. Somebody to assist your investigation and you want to... He said, no, that's what she do. She's under arrest already. You will meet such police officers. But Nigerians must be willing to change the system also.
Exactly. Yeah. Ways.
You wait it through and do the right thing. Write to the next authority. Every senior police officer overseeing that matter will do the right thing. Once you stay through. Once you are willing to write it, they will, no, this one, like say, get time from Allah. Yeah. So please wait and see through your matters.
I feel so terrible. Do you have any comments on social media? It's really terrible about this case. And we are really looking forward to a thorough investigation, as said. And I just wish we can change our laws. I mean, our laws are too lenient for the kind of citizens we're dealing with.
No way. It is a life sentence to this officer.
Life sentence for me is not even enough because when you get in there, then they say there's a break in and everything.
Prison
you need something more stiffer that stays with you permanently. Yeah. Castration is really important.
Yeah,
Let us find ways to castrate.
For rapists.
We need to begin to advocate for castration for these men who rape minors. These men should not have the opportunity to use their tools again.
Exactly.
Nigerians here are making...
Give you your comments and we wrap up.
He said, is his village people that are calling him? You know, they're the ones dialing his number. Somebody that is, I heard that is retiring soon.
Oh, 56 years old now.
Yes. Someone said, I get bad experience with police. My eyes see shaggy that day. The lady DPO was reeling me up and I maintained my calm. I was illegally detained. Thank God for my parents.
I have to wrap up, but see, I'm an optimist. Whenever I see issues with the police, I get really disheartened because that's one institution I really believe that if we can fix the Nigerian police, a lot of things, because things will fall into place. When people know that if you hurt me, I can get justice, you can be arrested, and this matter can go to court, and I'll get justice, people would become more civilized. So I get really hurt when they know. I know they're taking steps. We've interviewed police commissioners here, interviewed police operatives, and they've told us some of the work that's been done. But obviously, it's still not enough. We need more work to be done, especially on the mental reorientation of the Nigerian police. There has to be level by level retraining continuously, consistently, reminded of it, evaluations continuously of their objectives and how they should ensure the protection of lives and property of Nigerians. So I'm hoping that this girl gets justice in the long run. That's all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.